Welcome to FG Mania. Released not long ago, the game 12 Minutes caused a fever in gaming community because of its uniqueness. The game uses a type of loop that makes the plot continue in a confusing repetition, but also has a fascinating inner meaning. And of course, you guys can't miss such an interesting game. The following is a video that fully explains the plot as well as the meaning of the endings in the 12 Minutes game. Let's find out right away. 12 Minutes is a top-down horror puzzle game. Developed by Luis Antonio and published by Annapurna Interactive, the game was just released on August 19th, and is rated quite positively on Steam and game forums around the world. The overall game is a mixture of the tension of The Shining, with Rear Window's suffocating dread. Accordingly, a man named James McAvoy suddenly fell into a time loop after his family tragedy. From here, this man must go through 12-minute repetitions of the fateful evening, to find out the truth about the wife and the policeman. Only when he finds the ultimate truth can he break out of his loop. So far there have been 6 main endings and a 7th hidden ending found in the game. Let's find out the details of the plot and explain these endings. One evening, the man stepped out of the elevator into the apartment corridor and walked to his apartment door. "I forgot my key at work, so I searched by the potted plant next to the door, to get the spare key hidden there. When he opened the door and officially entered the house, the story began. His wife came out of the bathroom and suggested a snack.
I didn't hear you come in. Best night ever. Guess who made dessert? Let me know when you're in the mood.
The wife entered the bedroom to get something, and complained about the broken bedroom light switch causing her to get an electric shock. The two of them prepared the table together and turned off the lights. The room was filled with flickering candlelight. Everything was so romantic, and the wife slowly took out a package.
When is this, my birthday?
Just open it. So?
Inside the package is a children's shirt with the word Dahlia printed on it. He was a bit surprised because it was also his mother's name. The wife immediately revealed that she was pregnant. Their family is about to welcome a new member and she wants to name the baby after her mother-in-law. The husband was quite shy when he said that he had almost never met his mother since he was a child. However, the two are still very happy and together they celebrate with a romantic dance.
This is nice, huh?
I always like dancing with you.
I like that you like it.
Huh?
I like making you happy. That's all.
I feel safe with you. I always have.
At that moment, there was a knock on the door. A person claiming to be a policeman asked the owner to open the door. When the wife opened the door, the man immediately entered and asked her to put out her hand to handcuff, on suspicion of being involved in her father's death.
Hey, you're hurting.
Now you, hands behind your back, please. Don't move.
Help me. Will you come help me?
No, come on, don't.
My wrists. I don't know. This is a mistake. Babe.
The husband was also handcuffed, and the self-proclaimed policeman started asking about the pocket watch, which the wife took away when she killed her father. However, the wife insisted that she did not know, making the self-proclaimed policeman mad. He turned to strangle her husband.
Must be thinking of someone else.
No playing dumb. Tell me where the watch is.
I'm not lying. Please don't hurt us. Honey, tell him.
The wife, after begging for a while, agreed to tell him where the hiding place was, but before she could speak, the husband was dead.
Please. I'll tell you. Just don't hurt him. Please. The watch is in.
As if everything was over, the husband suddenly jumped back to the top of the loop, when he just opened the door to go home. The time was exactly 12 minutes from his death. This time he hid in the closet next to the door and waited. If it weren't for him, what would happen? Time passed almost and the man calling himself a policeman still showed up and rang the door.
Open up.
The wife came out to open the door and was tied
What's
up.
the police?
Continues
Turn
the
around,
interrogation about killing her father in the watch.
Yes, you. Hands behind your back. Let's go. Hold still.
The man knew after a while of interrogation.
Father? A gun? Father. Rich, only question is how much you make me hurt you before you do.
I don't know about anyone in the bathroom, under the medicine cabinet.
Good girl.
The wife hid the watch in the toilet vent, under the medicine cabinet.
I gave you what you wanted, and I won't tell anyone. I swear.
Find her?
However,
I did.
after
Okay,
taking the
no,
watch,
let
the
me
man
get
turned and
free.
shot his wife to death, put a gun in her hand to fake a suicide scene and then walked away.
No. It'll restart. It has to restart. I can't do this. It's not really like losing.
The main character
right in
comes out
baby.
miserable to see his wife lying in a pool of
It's gonna
blood,
restart. I know it
and the
will.
loop continues to reverse.
What?
This point, he understood that he had to find a way to save his wife and himself to pray for the loop to be erased. He began to try many ways and do many other things first to dig deeper into the hidden story of the past, about the watch, the cop, and the murder of his wife's father.
So are you like gonna learn piano or something? I guess you've got the time.
Of killing your father because I've been living the same 10 minutes over and over. I need you.
After proving to his wife that he was stuck in a loop, he asked about the old case. His wife admits she shot her father in a hot moment of youth. Her father had a gun-related job, so he had a lot of guns in the house. He also had an affair with the nanny, the woman who looked after her when she was a child.
He started sleeping with my nanny. It was the start of
Then the
my
incident
spiral.
broke and her mother fell into a
Nothing
depression and
was the
passed
same
away.
After
She
died.
became a rebellious child and hated her father.
I mean, it was sort of his fault. And I poked at him a lot. We fought. Nobody can hurt you like the ones you love, right? Oh, anyway, God.
Hey, I know that this is hard, but please, I need to know.
Yeah.
On that fateful Christmas night, she sneaked out but was caught by him. The two had quarreled and the anger that had accumulated over the years exploded. She grabbed a nearby gun and shot at her father.
Hit me.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I saw red, of course, and he always had guns around. I grabbed one. And thought,
When she saw him collapse, she panicked and grabbed the watch on the table and ran away, go thousands of kilometers to another place.
Polaroid on the fridge was actually taken an hour after I got here. I was gonna turn myself in, but it was a new year.
After a few days on the run, she stops at a bar in a city just in time for the new year and runs into him.
All ended today.
From then on, she fell in love with him and they built a family. She hid the dark side of her past just as the watch didn't tell him.
And now you know.
However, that did not help him save his wife. The man who called himself a policeman, after a few moments of knocking, the door could not be opened. Then he opened the door himself and entered. When the husband is trying to stop the man, he knocks him down and the loop returns.
No!
This time, the husband is determined to handle this self-proclaimed policeman.
Jesus Christ.
He went home to meet his wife, then went to the bathroom, opened the medicine cabinet, took a bottle of sleeping pills mixed with water and gave it to his wife to drink.
Oh, yeah, thanks. I was about to grab some.
The wife is reading a meditation book and says her father also likes books on
I
meditation.
don't know. I've always been curious about it. My dad was always into that sort of thing.
My Zen wife, huh?
She also
Look,
quoted a puzzling
there's a line.
sentence in the book for him
It
to
is
hear.
only by forgetting that we ever really drop the thread of time and approach the experience of living in the present moment.
After the wife finished drinking, she felt tired and went to the bedroom to lie down. He also quickly hid in the locker to wait. The man, after knocking on the door with no answer, pry opened the door. He went into the bedroom and saw someone lying down, so he reached out and turned on the light, see if it's his target, but is electrocuted by an open
just passed
switch
out.
and knocked unconscious. The husband immediately rushed out to grab the rope tied on the body of the available policeman, tied him up, then confiscated his phone and gun. The phone has information about a person named Bumblebee, was the daughter of the policeman, with an email from the insurance company about his son's cancer. The man woke up but was very stubborn and refused to say anything. The husband then took a gun and fired one shot at the man, causing him to start talking. He said your father-in-law was shot and wounded on Christmas Eve. He didn't die, but his wife ruthlessly turned around and shot him dead on New Year's Eve. He was an acquaintance and owed his father-in-law, so he had to take revenge. He spent many times following his wife's trail in vain, but recently she put up for sale the watch that gave him a clue to get here. This made the husband realize a contradiction. He met his wife on New Year's Eve at a bar thousands of kilometers from
She
home.
was killed.
She was. Prove it.
He even took a Polaroid photo of his wife sitting in the bar and dated the anniversary. This photo also hangs on the refrigerator door in the kitchen. When he showed the proof photo to the man, he had no other clues. The only person involved is the nanny having an affair with his father-in-law. The other man doesn't know either.
Care about the nanny. It was years ago.
The 10-minute time is up and the loop is back.
What? Wait, but... Oh, god damn it. God damn it.
The husband then tried to ask his wife more, after proving he was stuck in the loop, but nothing much. When asked why she brought the watch to sell after so many years of hiding, she replied that she was pregnant and needed some money to take care of her baby. The wife then succumbs to the stress and leaves the house, and the loop returns.
Wait. He won't listen to us.
This time, the husband decided to use the information he had at hand. When the wife came out to meet him and waited for dinner, he went to the toilet, took the watch out of its hiding place and took out his phone and called Bumblebee, the number he remembered from last time. The girl was afraid because of the strange number calling, but when he presented her father was slandering his wife and was about to do something thoughtless, then she agreed to call and advised her father to calmly listen to the explanation.
Listen, my wife is innocent, but your daddy, he won't listen to us.
I don't know what you're talking.
He doesn't have the whole story. Please, could you just tell him to listen to us?
No, why would...
Please, he's making a big mistake. You can help him.
I mean... Fine. Okay. I'll call him.
After arranging, he went out and started to prove he was stuck in a loop, and asked for more information from his wife. Accordingly, she grabbed the watch because it was made by her grandfather and passed it on to her mother. When she ran away, she grabbed it by inertia because it was something that would be handed over to her. It's also the only thing that reminds her of her mother.
Well, I guess it did, didn't it?
Hey,
After I shot him, I wasn't thinking. It was there and I just grabbed it.
As for the nanny, she doesn't remember much because she also left when she was about 2 years old. The husband explained the incident and gave the Polaroid photo to his wife, for her to prove that she's not the culprit. The man came to the door about to knock when he received a phone call from his daughter. She asked him to calmly listen to other people's explanations.
I need to sit down. He was always the easiest guy to deal with. Is that him?
The husband opened the door when the man started knocking.
Okay, let's talk.
Oh shit.
The wife explained the alibi and presented the photo to prove it.
I have proof.
Sure you do.
Look at this picture. Look at the date. New Year's Eve, the day my dad died. This coffee shop is around the corner. I couldn't have killed him. I can't be in two places at once.
Congratulations.
The man tried to explain that the photo was fake, but his wife stopped him by saying, "A Polaroid instant photo cannot be edited with special effects."
I miss him.
The confused man admitted that he himself did not believe her to be the culprit, but only because all the evidence points to you.
There.
But then,
I don't know. But it wasn't.
He also apologized and explained that his daughter was suffering from cancer. The insurance refused to pay, and now he needs a large amount of money to treat his daughter's illness.
she's dying. Cancer.
He only had to come and rob the watch to sell for money.
I can't pay for the treatment.
He also asked the two of you not to say anything about him stealing money, to cure his daughter's illness, or else he would never see his face again. The couple relented, so they decided to take the watch out and give it to him. The man appreciated and revealed the last detail he knew. Accordingly, he was the first to discover the wife's father. The old man's last words were, "Monster."
What was he saying?
Just the word monster. Over and over. I always wondered.
At this
what
time,
it
the
meant.
wife was startled because that was the word her mother used to call her half-brother, was the product of an affair with the nanny.
No, I'm sorry.
The man immediately said that he had the ability to find people, so will continue to investigate and decide to find this brother to repay her and her father. The man walked out of the apartment. The couple is happy together when they have resolved all the past problems. Now is the time for them to look to the future.
I really love you.
Really? Really?
But the loop continues to bring the
Really
husband
love
back
you.
to the starting
Me
point.
too.
The husband couldn't figure out why everything was fine, but the loop continued.
I don't know.
He had to find out more by rearrange the shooting of the man claiming to be a policeman with the electric switch trap.
Don't.
But this time after shooting him, he asked what the nanny's name was. He said it was too long ago to remember, but it was the name of a flower or something.
Daphne? Daisy, maybe. Yeah. Was some sort of flower.
A flower? That's the best you can do?
It's been over 20 years. What do you expect?
Stunned a bit, the husband opened the cabinet to get his wife's
Look at
gift
this.
box, then took out a baby shirt and gave it to the man.
The name. Look at the name. Is that the nanny that he had the affair with? Oh,
He confirmed
Yes.
it was the name, Dahlia.
That's it. Her name was Dahlia.
no. Please, God. She was my
Mother.
no.
The husband trembled and collapsed on the floor. He realized the shocking truth. His wife was his half-sister. The clock now suddenly reverses the hands and goes back 2 steps before 0 o'clock. That means minus 12 minutes. Now the husband goes back in time on that fateful New Year's Eve. He was sitting on a chair in the middle of his father-in-law's office. He was walking back and forth in front of him saying that the truth that had just been revealed would be difficult to accept, but he must decide on his love affair with the reluctant sister. He stubbornly continues to want to marry the girl and believes that love will solve
I
everything.
love her. I love her with everything in me.
I don't care about your feelings.
The father became angry and scolded him for being naive and childish. In anger, he pulled out a gun and pointed it at the husband, then returned to the butt of the gun and beat him repeatedly. He got up and the two fell to the floor struggling. The trigger gun fired several times at the father and blood spurted out. He stood holding his head next to his dying father, not knowing what to do. The clock returns to 0 o'clock, signaling a new loop. From here will begin the ending phase. All plot endings will lead to the next loop except the true ending, and the hidden endings have completely different textures. This is the earliest ending in the game. It takes place before the husband finds a clue about his wife's injustice. The husband starts a loop and arranges to trap the man to invade his house. When the man was electrocuted unconscious and tied up, the husband came and begged that he was completely innocent of the crime of his wife. The man agreed not to kill him in exchange for his release. After getting the watch, the man asked to speak to his wife privately in the bedroom, and asked him to wait in an armchair in the foyer. After a few minutes, there was gunfire in the room. The man came out and asked him to take his phone and call the police, and said that he had just come home from work to find his wife killing herself with a gun in her bedroom.
Tell them you just got home and that your wife is dead. It looks like she committed suicide. She shot herself in the head.
The husband did, and the man did not touch him. Just say you're lucky you got out of this mess. Rest assured to start a new life. This ending plays out in an extremely selfish and cowardly manner of the husband. He don't care if his wife is guilty or not. And what does this rough cop really want with that watch? Many questions arise, but he does not want to dig deep to know what to do.
All for nothing.
His only goal is to save his life. The rest he doesn't need to know because it's not important for him to take the risk. If the wife dies, he will get a new wife. The child has not been born yet, so who knows? This is the ending that takes place after the husband discovers the truth about the identity of him and wife. There will be an achievement that is unlocked when the player unlocks this ending called Groundhog with the description, The Perfect Day.
Yeah, I will.
It refers to the classic movie in the day loop genre called Groundhog Day, produced in 1993. The husband is still determined to get back to his normal life. While his wife waited for him to get ready for dinner, he went to the bathroom to get his phone and call Bumblebee.
Hello?
He told the girl the truth about her father coming and robbing his property to get money for her cancer
What are you
treatment.
talking?
After successful installation, he stepped out to dinner, listening to his wife reveal about the pregnancy like the first day. Two people dance while outside there is a quarrel. The man who claimed to be a police officer was called by his daughter with an extremely angry attitude. Being exposed by his daughter, the man was disappointed and left the building without knocking on the door. About the couple, after a romantic dance, the husband said he loved his wife because he knew everything was done. The wife led him into the bedroom and the two started cuddling. This ending about the game content, it shows the husband's defiance. Use everything he know to push all his troubles away and continue his incestuous marriage with his sister. But in terms of layout, it takes many details from the content of the 1993 film Groundhog Day. From the fact that the wife told her husband, "You seem different," to the end of the two sleeping together in bed. However, in 12 minutes the loop continues after this date because it is not the true ending. After trying many different ways and still not getting the loop, the husband decided to tell the whole truth. He began arranging a conversation with the man who called himself a policeman. Start by confessing to his wife that he was the one who killed her father. The wife became extremely frustrated and angry, although he imploredly explained that it was a past mistake. "I can't undo the past, but I'll do whatever it takes to make it right." He will confess to the upcoming policeman to exonerate her and let her find a new life. The husband took the phone to call Bumblebee to ask her to advise his father to calm down and listen to his wife's explanation, then went to bed and waited for the police to arrive. After the man finished talking on the phone with his daughter, he opened the door and invited him in. His wife said she was innocent and told the policeman to ask him for details. The husband confessed that he killed his father-in-law. To prove that he told the details that only the man claiming to be a policeman would know, that is the monster cry of the father-in-law at the time of death. He took it upon himself to call him because that was what his mother-in-law used to call him. The surprised and angry man roared, "You killed your father and married your sister?" He had nothing more to say and the man didn't know what to do. He turned to ask about the watch. The husband gave it to him and said no one will die today. He will also keep it a secret from his daughter. The man who achieved his goal turned his back and told him not to let him see him again. When the man disappeared, the wife couldn't stand the truth, so she kicked him out of the house. It can be said that this is the most bitter but fair ending. The husband tells all the truth, takes all the consequences on himself, and he really bears all the consequences.
Hear me?
No sympathy, no forgiveness, crime pays with fair punishment. That is the ultimate justice. But just talking about justice is not enough, so this is still not the true ending, and when you step out of the apartment, the loop continues. This is the real ending of the game, and once it is achieved, the husband will break out of the loop. After doing everything, including confessing, still can't get out of the loop, the husband immediately returns to the central item of the story. He went to the bathroom to pry open the vent and took out the watch. However, when looking closely at the watch, it is seen that it is running back in time. The timer now returns to -12 minutes. He found himself back in the room of his past with his father-in-law talking to him like last time.
Look,
However, this time he did not choose to
there
be
was a
stubborn
world
but accepted
where I
to
leave,
give up his love for his
the mercy
sister.
doesn't get to stand.
The father was very happy but also felt guilty because it all came from his adultery. He comforted his son and thanked him for understanding and making this difficult decision. Father and son hugged each other and it was over. This is the true ending because with the decision to give up incestuous love, the man escapes the marriage as well as the murder case. Everything was changed before the disaster, and so this ending was chosen as the true ending above the justice ending. The lesson here is that instead of letting it happen and then apologizing and regretting it, it's better not to let it happen in the first place. Because if you really repent or atone, the consequences have already happened, the person is also dead, time cannot be reversed like in the game. Also, because this is the true ending, the husband gets out of the loop and, literally goes to a dead end. After the endgame credits were played, he was taken back to the apartment hallway, but this time there was only one path leading to his apartment, the key in his pocket. Once inside, however, it was a completely empty apartment. This is the final ending of the plot when he will be left alone for successfully changing the past. The game will also save here and be considered unable to progress further in the story. From here we have 3 hidden endings and 2 of them are suggestive endings. But first, let's get to the special hidden ending at the beginning of the game. On the first day, if the husband walks into the apartment and then stands still for a while, without touching any controls, he will start a completely different story with his wife. The couple will begin to sit down in an armchair and talk to each other.
What do you mean?
The wife suggested idly that there was something more to the housework, but the husband did not understand it at all. After a long pause, the wife again brought up some past mistake and used the hypothetical example that she had had an affair.
Excuse me?
The husband replied that if the mistake no longer affects the lives of the 2 people now, it can be left alone without triggering. The relieved wife should confess that she has made some mistakes in the past but will talk about that somewhere else. She told her husband to wait a moment and went to the bathroom. After a few seconds she came out and hugged him. Then she insisted on leading him out of the apartment in a hurry. This ending seems to be a parody of doing nothing in the first place, like in Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 5. The philosophy of this act of standing still is that some things are best left untouched.
Let's go.
And for the plot of 12 minutes can also be explained in that direction, especially with the husband's statement that things in the past should not affect the present. If they do not affect the present, they should not be aroused. As for the plot of 12 minutes, this ending has a lot of implications if you know all the developments later. The wife's entry into the bathroom can be understood as to get the clock hidden in the ventilation duct, but the insistence on pulling the husband out of the room creates a big question mark. What is the wife trying to hide? Is she also in another loop, or at least knows about the guy claiming to be a policeman coming to find her? With a high-value watch in hand, it is clear that she can run away with her tall husband to another place and continue with her life. This hidden ending has left many possibilities for a sequel to the wife's story. It's a hidden ending but not plot-heavy. It almost plays the role of resetting the player's save to the initial stage. The husband returned to the apartment with a lonely ending. He used the key to pry open the vent cap and found the watch. But like the watch after completing the true ending, its hour hand falls to 6 o'clock and is loose as if broken. At this time, the husband adjusted the hour hand to the -12-minute mark and let the clock continue to run. The scene moves back to the father-in-law's room and he continues to speak the same way as he said before. This time, however, the husband uttered the puzzling meditation quote that his wife had read to him at first. The father-in-law was surprised when he also learned about meditation. He immediately said he could help him go back to the beginning, forgetting everything, all suffering, stress. But this is an important decision because there is no going back. After he agreed, the father immediately began hypnosis and instructed him to follow. After this step, the credits will run with the clock running backwards. This indicates that the game will be reset to the first day before he entered the loop. This is an offshoot of the continue ending, but it's more difficult to execute, and if achieved, there will be some new dialogue. Accordingly, when returning to the old room and reading a quote about meditation, the husband carefully observed the clock in the room and delayed the conversation as much as possible so that it did not end before 0 o'clock. When the clock strikes 0 o'clock without leading to any conclusion, the mindfulness ending will happen. The father will utter metaphorical words. You do have a remarkable imagination. The stories you have created. But believing them so strongly, so deeply is unhealthy, you have to let her go. You can't keep obsessing over her. Sometimes things just are what they are. It's time for you to wake up.
You can't keep obsessing over her. Sometimes things just are what they are. It's time for you to wake up.
At this point, the credit will run with the clock face stopping at exactly 0 o'clock and standing still and not running anymore. This ending raises a lot of questions and, above all, its unclear meaning. The father seems to want the husband to forget his wife and wake up to a new life. However, it is also the word of the game maker that wants to send a message to gamers. The story of the game is a product of the imagination, so gamers should only see it as a fantasy and do not let this incest tragedy haunt their minds. When you have reached this step, that is, the game is completed, the gamer can wake up and live his life. Leave your wife's story behind and don't let it haunt you anymore. In the game there are some mysterious, suspicious and unexplained details. It is the fringe details, sometimes difficult to notice if you are not subtle. First, in the main plot at the -12-minute mark, the father appeared with thick hair and beard. However, in the ending continue and mindfulness are two endings that take place after the true ending is achieved. The father is bald again. Although the same white shirt, brown pants, black shoes, the head part has changed. You can tell that this person is very similar to the man calling himself a police officer, especially in the part where he is electrocuted unconscious on the floor with his face revealed with a familiar beard. However, it seems that this is a game error when using the wrong character model. The voiceover is still the father's voice and we have no reason to infer that the father is still alive and becoming the other man. Where is Bumblebee from? Could it be that the wife who opened the door to greet him from day one did not recognize her father? The explanation that the programmer mistakenly attached the model seems to be the most logical so far. And if it's intentional, we'll face a plot twist that's even bigger than this kind of secret, the legend of the fiancé. Because that dislocation can lead to huge changes in the sequence of reality in the 12-minute storyline. The second detail is the picture in the bedroom. It was originally a picture of a couple taken together. However, when it comes to the ending stage, it will change. There will only be the husband in the picture and the wife has disappeared. Similarly, the objects in the house also change in a loop like other paintings or flower pots in the bedroom that will bloom if watered regularly. The third mystery is the clock. The fact that the story goes like this ends with a time lapse that corrects the past. That makes gamers immediately think of the possibility that all developments of the game are encapsulated in a dream. However, the details of the watch show that the whole story above happened, not a dream. After the true ending, the apartment was empty as if no one had ever moved in. It shows that the husband and sister have never been married, so they have never moved in here. But in the vent pipe still left this watch. Logically, it can't happen. That the watch is still there in a broken state, which means it really happened, and the watch acts as a time machine to bring the husband back to the past to correct the mistake. After everything is fixed, the main object of changing the timeline is the clock that still exists in the house. It is because it is the main theme of this time transformation, so it will not disappear like other details when the timeline changes. It is proof that this tragedy really happened but has been corrected, not that it never happened or just happened in the imagination. It can be said that 12 Minutes is a masterpiece of detailed arrangement and plot writing. It's a loop with details being revealed and built-in mysteries just waiting to be unlocked. Although the game has a bad presentation, like some modeling errors in the character's ankles, but overall it's still a unique product. With hints and mysteries left unsolved, it's entirely possible that a sequel is connected to this story. Let's wait and see if the author of the game plans to continue a sequel to this product. If you think of anything, do not hesitate to comment below in the comment section. Thank you and see you later. Goodbye.